And welcome back to Tech Tuesday. So I've decided to call this Tech Tuesday because Tech Tip Tuesday is too hard to say. Anyway, I have a quick one for you today, which is really cool. It's going to save you a little bit of aggravation. I know it saved me a bunch of aggravation in cleaning the airbrush in kind of a triage type clean, like a quick clean. So normally when we change colors in a brush like this, a gravity feed brush, you just kind of put cleaner in there, flush it around, and dump it out, get all the gunk out of there, and then spray through it or whatever. But sometimes, as you're working, you can kind of see there's residual paint in there on the cup. Sometimes this, just that's quick in between cleaning doesn't get everything out, and then stuff starts building up, especially down inside this little color reservoir down way down in the bottom. Some airbrushes have this, some are smooth all the way down. But in any event, you start to get stuff that's really, kind of gunked up in there. And you need to get that out. So what you can do, like way down in there where it's hard to reach because of the needle, you need to kind of get the needle out of the way so you can really get a good cleaning on it. But the problem is if you pull the needle out while you're cleaning with all this garbage and messy half melted paint, if you tilt the airbrush back, all that garbage is going to flow back into the brush and get all inside your, the main body of the brush, which will cause all kinds of problems. As that dries, it makes the airbrush, not function properly. So there's a neat little trick that I use to kind of take care of that. And what you can do, and you can do this with just about any airbrush. You take the handle off, and then you can even do this with, if you pour the cleaner in there and you've already been cleaning, you can do this same trick without emptying out the cup, which is kind of cool too. But when you do this, you have to keep it tilted forward. So as you draw the needle back, all that stuff doesn't flow backwards, because what's going to happen is the needle actually creates a seal in the brush right about here, and that stops that stuff from flowing backwards. So when you remove the needle, it's wide open, obviously, and all the stuff flows backwards. So keep it tilted forward, and you can just pull the needle all the way out. You kind of do it slowly, because this will drag stuff through as well, a small amount of stuff, but not, a ton. So keep it tilted forward. When you do this, also make sure that whatever's in front of the brush isn't important, because material will start, especially the cleaner, will start dripping out of the front. So don't be like me and do this over your artwork like I do on Monday nights. So take the needle, turn it around backwards, so now you have the blunt end, and reinsert the needle back into the brush. Obviously it's the same diameter, so it fits. And then what I do is I kind of look inside the color cup for it to appear, and then I draw it back a little bit so it's kind of in line with the end of the opening there. And then you can retighten it. Now what happens is now you can clean it aggressively, and even if you tilt it backwards, nothing's going to flow back into the body of the brush. So now you can really get in there cleaner and really do your job. There's no needle in the way. You want to still be careful that this is open, so stuff will be kind of flowing out of it. But in any event, you can really get in there now and clean that. You also want to be careful now because you have this really sharp point on the end of your airbrush. So you want to be real conscious of that so you don't jab yourself. Now, as you go along, if you bend a needle beyond repair, you can do this as well. So I've taken an old, as I've kind of got these needles, I took an old needle from this brush and I clipped off the sharp end. So now I have this. So this I can actually insert when I'm cleaning the brush, and I do this when I'm really like cleaning it out for real too, if I don't want to take apart the whole brush. So I can do the same thing. I can insert this right into the right where the color cup is, but now I don't have that deadly sharp point on the end, which is cool. So you can do that with old needles, if you have an extra one. And then obviously, if you have more than one airbrush, just put a little tag on it so that you know which airbrush it comes out of, because while some needles, the barrels are the same, the tips are different, the taper and all that, it's just really nice to have exactly the same needle, because that bearing in this, especially in this brush, is set up just for that needle. So that makes it really easy. It'll slide right in and you'll be all set. And I keep this in my repair kit. There are some brushes where you got to do a little bit different, different deal. Like the Sotar has this cool little grip that you use to pull the needle out, when you're doing a quick clean. So obviously this won't work with a Sotar, but the good news is with most of Badger products, their needles are really affordable. It's almost, as soon as you basically bend one, just grab a new one and then you can clip off the end of it. You can even clip off, this end of it and still leave that end on. So that way you can still do the same trick with something like the Sotar. But it really has a, has a cool way of kind of keeping the inside body of your airbrush clean, and you don't have to worry about stuff kind of getting in there when you don't need it in there. So there you go. So there is your tech tip. Ah, dang it, I said it. There's your Tech Tuesday tip. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you have any additions that you do yourself when you're cleaning out, triage type cleanings on your airbrush, please put them in the comments below. As always, if you have an idea for a Tech Tip Tuesday, I'm going to keep saying it till I forget to say it. Please drop that in the comments below too. And I will see you guys for the next one. Have a good one.